The 125s have a long history here at Broome, Tioga. Every year they've run here since 1980. Only Sacramento has one more 125 race than this track.
And here it is, looking at the map, you see the start over there, still a concrete start, always has been. The rest of the track's basically the same, but a new feature this year, they invested in some equipment that also picks up rocks while they disc. A lot of elevation here. This is the biggest downhill. Take a look at it at speed. You come up over the top of the hill, your fourth gear wide open, and goes through a little valley, then drops down again. Probably the highest speed area on the racetrack. Very difficult to get stopped at that corner at the bottom.
Ricky Carmichael, looking to win his third consecutive 125 title today, is in our Suzuki starting grid along with Bolin, Way, Casey Lytle. There you see Brock Sellards, the only rider who hasn't been mathematically eliminated from the 125 championship, but Ricky Carmichael needs to pick up only 2 more points on Brock Sellards to win that third consecutive crown and join the illustrious company of Brock Glover and Mark Barnett, the only other two to win 3 125 titles in their career. The track is in great condition here at Broome, Tioga. The 40 rider field for the 125s are getting all set to go in the opening moto of the day. Fans are not only wanting to see if Ricky Carmichael can get back his winning ways, but also see if Ron Khanna can continue his improvement since his injury. And Nick Way, of course, coming off a great win in the last event. Talon Bolin, also a winner over Ricky Carmichael this year. Can he do it again? Can Brock Sellards do it again? Number 27, Brock Sellards, though, is riding with a shoulder injury he received in the off week. Ricky Carmichael, our points leader, as you see here over Brock Sellards. Michael Brandis, number 5 on the list, is not racing today because of an injury in practice at Millville. He is still not recovered from that injury. Moto number 1, all set to go. 30-second car is sideways. Can Ricky Carmichael get a better start here today? Whoa, he goes up near the edge. And it's David Pingree, number 60 on the Primal Suzuki, that got the whole shot, but coming out of the turn was Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael finally gets a good start after having all kinds of problems in the last 3 races.
Somebody going wide out there. Looks like one of the split fire riders. Carmichael had the perfect line getting into the corner, was able to hold it tight, came out with the whole shot as Pingree drifted a little bit wide, but I'm surprised as wide as Pingree drifted, he was still able to hang on to second, so he was on the power hard.
Tough luck break for Nick Way, who was off the track. That was number 23 you saw there, David, who had to go off the track. You're right, it was a split fire pro circuit rider. Way coming off that victory, but a slow start here today. Ricky Carmichael right where he wants to be to win a championship.
It's an odd thing when you've been getting lousy starts, especially as many as he's had lately. And all of a sudden you get a hole shot and it feels like your first national and you're like, what do I do? It's a little bit of an adjustment to have the track all to yourself. You're the first guy to hit the watered section. You see him looking back, see who's going to challenge him, if anybody.
That's Pingree, number 60. Pingree getting good starts lately, as we said before. Is not really putting a challenge to Ricky. Whoa, what a speed shot. Ricky now just trying to break out and leave the pack. Going into the last 4 races this season, he had terrific reason for great confidence, winning 13 of 16 motos and 7 out of 8 rounds. But then the bad starts started going from excitement for the fans to see him come through the crowd to crashes. And then it started working on his mind, David.
Especially if it happens for too long. Anybody can recuperate from a couple of bad weeks, but he was just getting bad starts every time and then trying to make up for it, going so hard in the opening lap or the first couple of laps, going down more, and then you have a confidence problem.
So he doesn't have to worry about it right now out in front. That would be 1 point more than he needs to sew up the title if he stays there. So Ricky Carmichael is our leader. Pingree, Ramsey, Bolin, and Brock Sellards the top 5. We'll be right back.
I've been racing since I was 3. I'm a pilot. I like to fly a little bit.
No matter what, we want a Honda up front.
I just feel like I'm on the right team and on the right place. Je m'appelle Sébastien Tortelli. Je cours pour le team Honda.
I guess you could say I was just a little bit hairier than the other kids. They said I was hairy like a bear, and then it was Yogi Bear, and now it's just Yogi.
Try not to think about who's behind you. You know, you try to always race in front of you.
You feel like you can be free?
I got a new car with the red tail lights, like blue on the corners, and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's rocking good. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500 and all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours.
Buy a selected Quad Runner and get a super winch for just $49.95 and great financing.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. And by Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real you'll be picking your teeth out of the dirt for the PlayStation game console. Now available wherever video games are sold. We're back to the action here in the opening moto of the 125s from Binghamton, upstate New York. The real battle right now is for third. Talon Bolin, FMF Honda, Nathan Ramsey making a little mistake there on the Pro Circuit machine. Bolin moving into third place behind Pingree.
That worked perfect, just staying out in the loam. Usually you want to get down and protect the inside. That's what Ramsey was trying to do. But you can see all the loam they have here. That's what Talon took advantage of. This is the best condition I've ever seen this racetrack.
So it's Ricky Carmichael, Pingree, and Bolin the top three with Ramsey in fourth.
Watch Ramsey. He's going to go to the inside. It's the logical line, but as Bolin goes to the outside, that's where all the loose dirt, all the loam's gotten pushed wide. Look at that big berm out there. So as soon as Ramsey gets on the gas, it's a rock base with no traction. Bolin hooks up, makes the pass.
Boy, I can see what you mean about the lack of rocks right now, David. It's impossible, of course, like in Unadilla, to get all your rocks out of that property in upstate New York, but they've done a tremendous job on the surface area. Here's Talon Bolin now working on second place. Pingree trying to hold on after the good hole shot start. Bolin moves into second.
That was tight. I didn't think he's going to have room because Pingree could tell he was going to try to square him off right there, and I thought he didn't leave enough room between himself and the tree. Bolin just muscled his way in there like he always does and made it work.
Now can he catch RC, who was at the corner of the screen when you saw Bolin take that turn. RC was really putting the old throttle down to get away from these guys.
We still got him in his sights, though, and the way that another thing I like that they've done here is they've trimmed all the trees up. They did that at Mount Morris as well, so the spectators have a great view, and at times the riders have a better view, and they can see where the guy is they're trying to catch.
Nick Way trying to get back up into contention now as we see Andy Harrington, a privateer out of the San Diego area, El Cajon actually. And that's Ernesto Fonseca. Fonseca going to the outside to Harrington, and Fonseca, can he clamp it? Ernesto Fonseca has moved up another notch. Here's Casey Lytle, currently in 7th place, a teammate of Ernesto's on that Yamaha of Troy team.
He's next in line. Ernesto's moving up. Way is right there pushing these guys. And Harrington is probably a little bit tough to pass because these guys don't ride around him that much, but when he gets a good start, he's so aggressive. At times he can be all over the place, but you got to hand it to him. You got to be aggressive. Look at him here, just trying to come right back. He doesn't give up.
Harrington is thought of by many to be a very promising potential for the future. And look at this. Harrington bumping with Ernesto Fonseca.
He's not intimidated. But that little confrontation they had allows Way to get up in there, and now Fonseca can see him. So
Nick Way taking advantage of the break. is now sandwiched between the two. Take another look at the move.
Well, what's going to happen here is Fonseca is going to have to use that big Broome square, and he's going to try to come straight back up the hill, but Harrington's on that slick stuff. I mean, their lines are just going to collide. There's nothing he can do about it. He doesn't mean to hit him. He just couldn't turn sharper. When they hit each other, they lost a little bit of momentum, and then Nick Way got a little advantage and made another pass. These guys are still having a great battle, and they still got Lilo right up there in their sights.
Bump and run action. Back in the pack as Ricky Carmichael still holds a good lead on Talon Volan.
That was a classic.
Yellow flag. That's Casey Lytle who went down, and now Fonseca goes down. Harrington gets by. There's Roncada, number 22.
So just about the whole Yamaha of Troy team gets held up right there. Eric Kehoe is about 100 yards from where that just took place, going, come on, guys, don't mess each other up. That's exactly what happened.
Ernesto Fonseca back up and running. That's Travis Preston right in front of him, one of the more promising privateers on the circuit, also getting by Fonseca when he went down. But Nick Way now is starting to rip.
Oh, he's going fast all right, but the problem is although he was tough and was in the right place at the right time to take advantage of 7th place, there's no 6th place isn't even in his sight. So he's going to have to be patient here and keep clicking off fast laps, hopefully, and get somebody in his sight so he can charge and try to pass before the race is over. But
or before Carmichael catches up with him.
To lap him, yeah.
As it looks like Carmichael, the way he's running right now, is going to catch quite a few riders. Ricky Carmichael is leading our opening moto.
Look at his pace. Look how fast he gets around that corner. Feet on the pegs, all the way up and over that jump. He doesn't even use it as a jump. It's just another little bump in the way.
Carmichael looking flawless out in front, is starting to just check out. And we'll be back with more of the 125 first moto from Broome, Tioga, right after these words.
12 deaths over 15 years.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
8 of them children.
The truth. I thought we were talking about a court of law.
For the first time on television,
somebody had to have seen what happened.
Pay-per-view delivers one of the best legal films in years.
So the only thing you'll accept is what they're not willing to give us.
John Travolta.
We let them get away with murder.
A civil action.
All right.
A compelling drama, easy to order on pay-per-view.
What time is it?
I'd say it's time for some bristles and shears.
I'm not cutting my own hair.
No, silly. You need to go to Bristles and Shears Hair Design. That's where I go.
You know I need to look professional.
Relax. Their experienced staff is trained to listen first, then cut. You get your hair styled the way you want it, all done in a modern, comfortable atmosphere. They even have an esthetician.
A what?
A facial and skincare professional.
Oh, I knew that. Well, where is Bristles and Shears?
Next to Belfort Furniture and World Gym in Sterling.
Honey, where are my car keys?
Tonight on ESPN, SportsCenter, followed by NFL Primetime and Sunday Night Football as the Jets battle the Bills. On ESPN2, horse racing, RPM Tonight, Fed Cup tennis, and continuous scores in the latest news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic, a pair of click and picks and a look back at Wimbledon. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
We're back with more motocross action from upstate New York. It is round 11, and Ricky Carmichael, #1 on the Split Fire Pro Circuit machine, is looking to nail down his 3rd consecutive 125 championship. And that's in 3 years.
He's making it look easy, too. The lines he's chosen. There's Preston, it looks like, and...
Is that Fonseca again? No, that's Casey Lytle again.
That's the same corner he had problems before. Little off camber section before they come around to the mechanics area. This time, at least he didn't take out a teammate.
Roncada now in 7th while we're away, just passing Nick Way. And Way, it looked like had it pretty easy there for a while, David, but certainly not now.
Well, I thought he might it'd be tough for him to stay focused because he didn't have anybody up the track to look for. Just focus on lap times from his mechanic, try to ride hard, and get a better start in the next moto, but now he's got Roncada there to chase.
Roncada trying to prove himself before the season's over because he was hampered by injuries most of the year. But he's looking like past Ron Cotta form, really, with 2 second places in the last 3 races, a 4th in the one at Washougal, also getting a whole shot. He's gained a certain amount of consistency, David.
He has, and it's a good time to do it towards the end of the season. You want that not just for contracts or for your own deals, but just for your confidence going into the next year and some of the off-season races.
They're starting to catch up with Brock Sellards, we mentioned. Sellards, with the weekend off last week, went over the bars at Frozen Ocean, dislocated his shoulder. Let's check in with Davey.
Dean, how bad is that shoulder hurt Brock?
I went back to the hospital last night, and the doctor said he may have separated his collarbone from his shoulder blade. And so he said he can't really hurt it any worse. It's going to be sore, so he's going to have to ride under pain. So we're just trying to salvage points. I know he's sore right now because he's in his corner. He keeps wanting to lay it down, but I just told him halfway, just hold on not so tight, you know, have a loose grip, and he should make it. Just try to salvage some points.
The only rider that Ricky hasn't eliminated, but sometimes those races for fun on the off weeks can turn into tragedy.
Yep, and the practice these guys do during the week, especially if you get a few of them together and daring each other to do things and jump stuff. I mean, that always goes on.
And Ron Cotta easily gets by Brock Sellards.
Didn't put up much of a fight there. I mean, this is salvaging points, and salvaging points doesn't mean trying to go the pace of Ron Cotta.
Ron Cotta and Fonseca re-upping with Yamaha of Troy. They'll be back next year. Brock Sellards, he's already re-signed with FMF.
It's a courageous performance right here from Brock. He's trying to salvage second in the point standings. He's got to go out there and just tough it through. It's got to hurt, though. I mean, I never had a shoulder injury, but plenty of injuries where I had to ride in pain with my feet and so forth, and it's no fun.
David Pingree still holding on to Talon Bolin for second and third. Pingree has had many ups and downs over his career. It looks like it's back on the upswing now.
It just started for me just trail riding with my father up in the hills in Montana. You know, I had a Weisinger, a little Pee-wee 50, and we just go up for fun, our whole family. And a friend of his had boys that raced, and we went out and watched one of those, and then said, you know, let's give it a shot, and it just turned into something that our family loved, and we've kept with it.
Pingree started showing professional potential in his first year of amateur 125 intermediates.
Had some good finishes, and it's actually some of the factories were talking to me, and I was like, you know, wow, I might have some potential here.
Little did he know then the challenges that would test his desire and character.
96, I had an accident that was terrible, you know. Broke my femur, tore up my knee, broke my hand. I mean, it was pretty ugly, and I considered, you know, just getting back into school or doing something different, and you know, it's you can always go back to college at any time, you know, but racing's something you got to do when you're young, and I just loved it too much to let it go.
Coming back to win the 125 Minneapolis Supercross confirmed his decision, but once again earlier this year, his love for the sport was tested.
Right at the second round, you know, separated my shoulder, and it just really, it's frustrating, you know, because it takes you out of the points race. You lose fitness, you know, so your speed's off, your endurance is off, and I mean, it takes a while to come back.
David Pingree on the comeback once again, showing us he doesn't give up easily. And look at this. Pingree has drawn up to the rear tire of Talon Bolin.
That's not easy to do. His Talon is 100% everywhere, every lap, and he's proven he's got the speed. He's as fast as Carmichael, if not faster at times, and Pingree has closed the gap, so Pingree is riding well.
Talon Bolin, his exciting self once again in second place. Just off signing a 2-year deal with Pro Circuit. That was a surprise to a lot of people. FMF brought him over from Europe. Really gave him an opportunity to get back to his homeland, and then all of a sudden he looked so good this season, was so marketable and so good for the sport that he had other people interested in his services. Here's our top 10. Carmichael, Bolin, Pingree. The top 3 remains. Ernesto Fonseca back up into the top 10. We'll be right back with more 125 action.
It's the most powerful custom on the planet. 6 cylinders. 6 carbs. 1,520 cc's. Only one motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda.
Are you ready? Ready? Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with the top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning. There's loads of tracks, customizable bikes, and much, much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
Sometimes the job calls for more than just one screwdriver, but you're not exactly sure which ones you need. That's why Sears created the Craftsman all-in-one screwdriver. It has 6 full-size Craftsman quality screwdriver blades built into the handle, 3 slotted and 3 Phillips head blades in the sizes you use them most. Need a different blade? A quick change couldn't be easier. The compact size fits just about anywhere. Almost everyone has a kitchen drawer where they keep tools handy. But you'd have to keep 6 different screwdrivers in there to do the job of the Craftsman all-in-one. It's a great value at only $19.99, and like other Craftsman hand tools, the all-in-one screwdriver is guaranteed forever. Don't want to carry a whole set of screwdrivers? Just take the all-in-one. You've always got the right screwdriver at your fingertips. It's so convenient and versatile, you'll want to take it everywhere. The all-in-one screwdriver makes a great gift, too. Order yours today.
Call 1-800-315-3355 to get the Craftsman all-in-one screwdriver. Call now.
College football Saturday, first at noon.
It's the Big Ten opener for the brilliant Drew Brees and the Boilermakers.
Then at 6.
Miami's got one of the best teams they've had in years. Watch them.
At 9.
Thomas Jones and the Cavaliers travel to Provo to take on Rob Morris and a stingy Cougar defense.
College game day at 11 on ESPN. Then on ESPN2, Northwestern Purdue at noon. Miami, East Carolina at 6. Virginia, BYU at 9. Saturday.
Time running out here in the opening moto, but time is not running out. Polish up the crown for this guy. He's on his way to winning his 3rd 125 national championship. An insurmountable lead for Ricky Carmichael here in the opening moto. Acknowledged by the fans. They're cheering him on as he nears the final lap.
Look how fast he's going. Final lap pace is still fast enough to maintain a lead over Volan and Pingree, who are involved in a huge battle, pushing each other. They've gained slightly, but I think it's only because RC's let them.
Yeah, and there's several riders out on the track that RC has passed. They're just happy to be on the same track with him.
It's always, in my first years as a professional, to see Hanna and Howerton and those guys coming by to lap me, it was always like, wow. And I try to follow them and do the same line for a couple of laps, or actually a couple of turns till he disappeared.
It's impossible to compare different eras. But from what we see of Ricky Carmichael over the past 3 seasons, he has to be at least one of your top candidates as the greatest of all time in the 125 ranks.
Sure, that's been the talk, of course, with him closing in on the record. If he can get it the final race at Delmont, he will tie Mark Barnett. And I actually kind of like it that way, because if he was to win it and get one more win, and people would say, oh, well, Carmichael's the greatest, and I don't necessarily agree. I think a lot of people will fight that forever. It's a different era. You can't compare Joe Namath with Joe Montana. It's just different now.
But he's the best there is in the 125 ranks right now, and what a triumphant feeling it must be for this young man after, over the last couple of races, having some real problems getting himself up off the dirt. The checkers and the championship for Ricky Carmichael. Callan Volan in 2nd place. Pingree holds on to 3rd, with Ramsey and McCormick rounding out our top 5. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, Ricky, that's it. Congratulations, 3 championships.
I tell you what, Davey, it feels good. Man, I've had like an upset stomach all day, and halfway through the race, I kind of had to go to the bathroom, so I slowed down, and it was just like torture, man. It's like, whew, it feels great, though. I'll tell you what, from the help from Kawasaki and Pro Circuit, I tell you what, and all my sponsors, Fox, Oakley, THQ, Championship Motocross, and I'll tell you what, man, this feels great. Troy Lee Designs, and I'm ecstatic, man. It's been waiting. It's kind of been a struggle the last couple weekends, and it feels great.
Well, this might feel a little bit better. I'm going to bring in Duke Finch right here from the AMA.
Ricky, congratulations on your 3-peat.
Thank you. Thanks. I'll tell you what, it feels good. I like to thank Mazda, too. I also got a Mazda truck. Bridgestone Tires, everybody who helped me get here, man. My mom and dad, and my mechanic, Chad Watts, Johnny O, and I'll tell you what, man, this is great.
Finally, one more moto to go.
One more, I'll tell you what. I was out in California last week testing, and Mitch was busting his butt, and we got a bike that is just hauling butt, and I think he proved that by pulling the whole shot. It feels great.
Well, with still a record on the line, you know he's not going to mail in the second moto, and there's one guy that's not going to let him, and that's Talon Boland. Let's go back down to Davey now in that winner's area.
Talon, good ride.
Thank you. You know, I started off fourth, and Ricky obviously got the whole shot. You know, I told everybody and predicted I'd be back at this race, and I haven't got as much training as I'd like, but I really worked hard when I could, and I think that it's paid off. The only thing I lacked is still a little bit of time on the bikes. My arms pumped up in the middle of that moto. I felt my speed was the same. And, you know, next moto, these last two races, it's not like I'm racing for the championship now. So I'm not giving up for anything. I'm going for it. I'm letting it all hang out. So I hope next moto to get off with them. I'm going to pass them.
The never give up Talon Boland, that's for sure. David Pingree put in quite a race. In fact, it was his best moto finish of the season. So let's go right back down to Davey.
Well, David, I got to tell you, that might have been your best outdoor ride ever. Congratulations, you got on the podium.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It feels real good, Davey. It's been a long time since I've had a finish that I've been happy with. You know, Troy was 5th overall, but still wasn't the moto results I was looking for, you know, so this is definitely a step in the right direction.
You were racing with Talon Boland out there that whole moto. I actually started to think, well, he might get a little tired, but in the end, I think you actually had the speed.
Yeah, I felt strong, you know, I didn't get tired at all, and towards the end, I actually found a few lines and closed back up on him, and I wasn't able to really put a move on him, but definitely held the speed all the way to the end.
How do you feel about the last moto?
I feel fine, you know, I didn't get tired at all, and, you know, I went back to California. I've been staying in Montana all summer, so I think getting back to the heat kind of helped me just get used to the strains of doing a 35-minute motos.
The 250s are coming up next, their first moto of action. And Team Suzuki's number 8, Greg Albertine out of South Africa, will continue his drive for his first American championship. It's all coming up next.
All the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Counting down to number 1, this tennis champion dominated the game with her power and skill and changed it with her courage. Sports Century athlete number 19, Martina Navratilova. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN. Presented by General Motors.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. See the incredible new 1999s at your dealer now. We've had 3 different points leaders in the first 10 rounds, but Greg Albertine right now, a little breathing room on Team Honda's Kevin Windham with a 35-point advantage. Mike LaRocco from his Factory Connection team in 3rd in the points race, and the defending champion Doug Henry in 6th. As we get ready for our opening moto, Kevin Windham has really gained a maturity during this season, hasn't he, David?
I have a feeling he knows exactly what it takes to win a title now, and Greg Albertine is just about to do that. At this first race, this killed Kevin Windham. He knows that every point is now on. It's really going to matter.
Our starting grid, the defending champion Henry. who's won here. In fact, he won the title here last year in the second to the last race of the season. John Dowd. Koiketa has done very well as a privateer. Tim Ferry on the Chaparral Yamaha.
Ferry has filled that position nicely. He's had realistic goals. He wanted to be in the top 5. He's done that a couple of times. Now before the end of the year, he'd like to get the podium.
That podium would give him a possible factory ride for next year. The person who isn't on the starting grid here today is Kawasaki's Jeff Emig. He was let go of his contract. Let's get more from Davey Coombs.
Arn David, I'm down here on the starting gate as the 250 riders are on the parade lap. You can see the mechanics behind me getting the gates ready. One rider that's not out here today is Jeff Emig. The 4-time AMA national champion was terminated from Kawasaki after an arrest at Lake Havasu last weekend. We tried to talk to Team Kawasaki boss Bruce Schoenstrom about it. He didn't want to comment except to say that he wishes Jeff Emig luck. A very, very bad break, or I should say a mistake, on behalf of Jeff Emig. He's not here, and he won't be here till next year.
If I know Jeff, though, he'll meet that head on and try to work a new deal for next year, if not the last race of the season at Belmont.
Now, that's lousy news, Art. You know, this is about as low as it gets for a former national champion, and for Jeff, it's probably the wake-up call he needs to get back and get that desire to win again, burn it strong, or decide once and for all to stay away.
Jeff Emig, a former winner here in '97. He took the crown in '97 at this racetrack. And Davey Coombs has got more down in the gate area.
250 riders are back from the parade lap. Greg Albertine, 35-point lead. He chose the inside because it's safer here from Tioga. Look right next to him, the whole shot master, Kevin Wyndham. Kevin loves the concrete starts. I have a feeling you're going to see the whole shot come from one of these two guys.
Kevin Wyndham, the leading hole shooter on the season.
I like that inside, though, Art. Last time I raced here, I started at both motos, whole shot at both motos. When they come out even, Albie's got the advantage. So it really depends on that first 10 feet. Who gets their elbow in front of the other guy.
You didn't let anybody beat you on the 500 on this track. 30-second board is up. It'll go sideways. I'm going to ask you for a comment on that later. We're set to go for our first moto, the 250 action. See who gets the edge? Number 14, Kevin Wyndham, just in front of Greg Albertine. But the whole shot money will go to Larry Ward from the outside. John Dowd, very close to Ward, has taken over first place as Ward has moved back to second. So Team Yamaha's John Dowd doing a good job of holding his own from the outside along with Larry Ward.
A lot going on in that first couple of corners. Saw Lust having to go wide, be into the track, way in the back of the field. Also looked like Wyndham had the whole shot. Then Larry Ward actually got it, but drifted wide and down. So much going on in the first couple laps. So much competition out there.
Ward, down. And look out, Doug Henry's off the track. Trying to restart the four-stroke. So Henry, who won here last year and took the crown home with him, 1998 250 national champion, is not faring well here today.
All the way up front, all the way to the back. He would be a great addition to this battle up front. He does so well on this racetrack, and that bike has the horsepower.
Boy, look at that, Kevin Wyndham. Talk about horsepower. He lays it on John Dowd. Where's Albertine now? Wyndham in second place, Dowd in third.
Good thing the rocks are gone this year. Kevin ducked for an unknown number of rocks, and that's enough to ruin your helmet. Knock the losers out of your goggles, maybe knock a little senseless for half a time.
Kevin Wyndham starting to put pressure on our leader, Larry Ward, right now. Wyndham just out there to do as much as he can, win as much as he can, and then hope that something goes wrong, gives him a shot at the championship.
Right now, it's an odd position for him to be in. He knows that Larry Ward is going to make it as absolutely difficult as possible to get by. Try to help Albertine as much as he can.
Ward looking back, and look at the inside move by Wyndham.
Wow, that was just too good. No way Ward retaliate there. He looked over, knew he was coming, but now Kevin has to know that Ward's just going to move over for Albertine. He was already looking over, knew that Kevin had the inside. Kevin actually couldn't have gone an inch tighter. That was beautiful. No way Ward's doing that.
And so Wyndham is our leader, with Ward in second, Dowd in third, Albertine is in fifth.
Jeff right at the corner, right at the apex, already just shooting the roost. Got those hand protectors. You know that's just where rocks and stuff use those quite a bit. Rides well in this racetrack. Takes a lot of throttle control, on the power, and not get too much wheel spin. Pick the right line. You see all the braking bumps coming into the corner. A lot of ruts out there. And find the best way around the track.
Hemmings Mechanics on the job for Kawasaki anyway. As Kevin Windham is our new leader here in our open photo of 250 action. So Windham, Larry Ward, and John Dowd are our top three, with our team looking to move up in our 11th round of action.
Would you look at this? The Suzuki is off to a great start, an unbelievable start. And all of Daytona is on their feet as the GSXR screams to the trial bowl. The Suzukis are dicing for the lead on the inside of turn 11. I've never seen such a battle. He wants a piece of him. He's got it. Oh, did you see that? Outstanding. With this kind of intimidation, the rest of the field might as well head home. The TL1000R is slicing through the S's. Oh, my. Suzuki's V-twin is developing incredible horsepower as it thunders up the hill.
Hey guys, if you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now, and we'll send you our new 40-page hair loss update. It covers the most up-to-date information on hair-growing drugs and methods, as well as Hair Club's most natural-looking, non-surgical hair development to date.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, this hair.
Now that I am a Hair Club client, I would never go back.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get your free booklet. That's 1-800-HAIR CLUB.
Are you ready? 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 Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with the top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning. There's loads of tracks, customizable bikes, and much, much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
Welcome back to Broome Tioga Sports Center in Binghamton, New York. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, bringing you the action of the first moto of the 250s. Here's the battle for third. John Dowd, who was out in front at one point, is now holding off the points leader, Greg Albertine, number 8. Albertine has gone through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout his American career after winning 3 GP Motocross World Championships. And what a pass by Albie.
That was just go for broke. I mean, pass this guy now or never. You just don't fly that far past the downside of that plateau every lap. And live to tell about it. He jumped all the way out there. He actually landed pretty hard, but he made the pass. That's how bad he wants it. That's what he's been doing this year. He's recognized opportunities like that and he's taken them. And that's why he sits in the points.
Albertine in third, Dowd in fourth, LaRocco in fifth now. LaRocco starting to gain some momentum on the number 3 Factory Connection Honda.
You see, LaRocco is motivated to try to get up, get around Albertine, improve his own position in the points. Maybe overtake Windham for second, but if he's able to get around Albertine, it's going to help Kevin. So he's motivated either way. It's good for Honda, good for Mike LaRocco to move up.
LaRocco signing a new deal with Honda for buying some parts and re-upping with Factory Connection with his own team for next year. A Team Honda rider is back with us, and let's go down to Davey Coombs.
All right, David, look who I ran into here. Sebastian Tortelli, the former points leader. Sebastian, how's the wrist?
It's getting better. You know, I work hard, and my Dr. Team did a great job on it, and he's doing very good. So I'll be racing soon, and it's going to take a couple more weeks.
How tough is it to be out here watching this title decided without you in the picture?
Yeah, that's the first race I'm watching, and since I get hurt, and I was like, I'm all tired and just want to go and ride the bike, but I know that won't be nice. I mean, that won't be good for me. So I prefer to wait and be strong next year.
Sebastian Tortelli, the points leader in 5 out of the first 6 weeks of the season. And of course, that broken wrist taking place at Unadilla was really tragic at the time. They flew all the way to San Francisco. Oh, Mike LaRocco having problems in the corner.
That just kind of fouled up Dowd's momentum, and here comes Button.
The 4-stroke of Jimmy Button now taking advantage of John Dowd to the inside. Team Yamaha teammates. And that must be Henry right behind Button.
It looks like LaRocco could have gone in there and been a little meaner. As it was, Albertine kind of shot off the lip of the berm, still stayed on the racetrack, but it messed up Dowd's momentum. here comes Button. Squares it coming down the hill, has the inside line over the double. He moves up the stand.
Boy, Jimmy's really improved. Of course, he got the win at Washougal, came back with a second place at Millville. He's putting it together. And here's Tim Ferry, number 20. Ferry is on his way to his best performance.
I really thought this would have been a good track for Dowd. Have a great race, but he's just dropping positions one by one.
Davey Coombs back in the mechanics area with Brian Barry.
Brian, John had a real good start, but it seemed like he had a bad second lap there.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been having problems with his arm going numb a little bit. So I don't know if he's having problems with that. It's been a frustrating year. I don't know whether he's healthy, if he's not healthy. Mentally, he's a little messed up. You know, it's been a really tough year to push him, you know.
And of course, it's so important that psychological play between mechanic and rider throughout the year, David.
Well, I know Brian would like to push him, but I think he understands that there's times when it doesn't work.
A very bad year for John Dowd to get that shoulder injury. It's been a long time healing.
Too bad. You know, he had some momentum up to that point. I think he would have had a much different year had that in place. And, you know, as Pingree already said earlier in the feature, it's just so hard to come back from an injury because you lose some speed, you lose fitness, you lose all your confidence. You got to start from zero.
Out in front, Kevin Windham starting to check out. The battle for second is on between teammates, and this probably won't be a battle. It's Larry Ward, and he points to Albertine. Go ahead, take that route.
Yeah, he's not going to make it any tougher for Albertine. He's going to probably sit right back there, and I think he was out in front of him long enough to let people know. And for his own, watch him right here. I'm in the main spectator area too, just to go with everybody. I think I've already proven I can run this pace. Now it's time to let my teammate have a championship. That's important for Suzuki, and it improves Ward's position if he became rider.
Our next round in Delmont, Pennsylvania for the finale of the year. Looks like the 250 championship will go down to the wire.
For all your air conditioning and heating needs, call ME Flow in Sterling or Leesburg. Get a free spring preventive maintenance check or a free 1-year service agreement with the purchase of eligible Bryant equipment.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me, rescue me.
Bring your world into full view. Decrease your dependence on glasses and contact lenses through laser vision correction. Dr. Flinton Callahan has been a Loudon resident for 20 years and is one of the first in the United States to perform LASIK, an advanced laser technique. See what you've been missing. Call Dr. Callahan today for a free consultation.
Got him there.
You guys?
In the side.
Let's see here, huh? Oh, man. Cumin. Pretty good. Good, yes, but if you want great, you serve it in a hollowed sourdough bread bowl, topped with just a dollop of sour cream. Hunker down, you hairy dogs!
Dollop. Sourdough.
In this week's Honda riding tip, we'll take a look at what it takes to get through the first corner at Broome, Tioga in good shape. Obviously, getting there first helps. There's a lot of pile-ups, though, and you got to try to stay out of that. That usually happens in the middle. What I would always try to do is line up to the inside, as McGrath did there, trying to get to the inside. And if there's any problems, they usually happen out wide. Let's check in with some of the other Honda riders and see what they have to say.
If you run 50-50, we always start in second gear and shift as soon as possible. You know, keep the bike in the right part of the power band, and you usually pick a place going in the first turn to get on the brakes. You know, whether it be a hay bale, a banner, or whatever it might be.
I think this turn especially is going to be pretty tough. It's a 180-degree right turn, which you know, it's going to. I think it's going to favor the guys on the inside of the gate. I think it's really important to get down on the inside. I think a lot of the guys to the middle of the gate are going to get shoved out or possibly pushed all the way off the track. And I'd be willing to say there's going to be a couple pileups also.
Well, as you can see right here, watch the riders in the middle. They have nowhere to go. down and everybody gets pushed wide. So that's why lining up to the inside, odds are you're going to come out in pretty good shape. These guys are going 50 feet extra. Now let's hear from former 250 and 500 national champ Mike LaRocca.
The speeds aren't high, like I said, so you can be aggressive and not suffer too bad if things don't work out. So it's one thing where the inside gates are favored because you can push your way through.
Not enough gates for everybody on the inside, but one guy who did have an inside gate is way out in front. We haven't seen much of him during the race, is Kevin Windham. Here's the battle for second place, though. Mike LaRocca, number 3. He's trying to move up the points ladder. He's behind the points leader, Greg Albertine. Albertine playing it cautious, staying out of trouble. Hey, I got a points championship to win here. Go ahead, take the inside, Mike.
He just stood up and let him ride right by. Look at him. Just looks over. Yep, go ahead. You know, with a 35-point lead, you don't need to be rubbing elbows with Mike LaRocca. Chances are nothing good can come of that. So he does have the luxury of a great big points lead and to be able to just ride around, not lose too many positions in the championship. That pretty much spells it out right there.
Stay focused, stay smart. Lee McCullough, Larry Ward's mechanic.
I think LaRocca might even be a little disappointed. Going, come on, I thought that was going to be harder than that. He was already lined up on the inside, the same place that Windham used to take over the lead in this moto. These guys are kind of going all the way to the edge of the racetrack, missing that jump. If you don't banner something, these guys will take advantage.
The only way Albertine could win the crown today would be something disastrous happening to Kevin Windham, and it's obvious right now with Windham way out in front that that's just not going to happen. So Albertine playing it close to the vest, pretty smart, and letting this championship go down to the last event in Delmont, Pennsylvania.
Ward making it easy for his teammates to get by, but he just made it easy for Button to get by as well. And now he's got Ferry breathing down his neck.
Tim Ferry, number 20 on the Chaparral Yamaha. Ferry just coming off a 5th place moto in the first one at Millville, which ties him for the best moto performance of the year. Ferry to the inside, rubs a little plastic with Ward. Ward looking back at him.
I think Ward's just out there having fun right now, dicing with these guys. Ferry, he looks over and knew that if he tried to go for that berm, Ward was going to park him. So he just decided to be smart and wait, get someplace else. He's working hard. He's always in a new line, trying to create something. Ward is not making it easy.
And they're all coming up on Jimmy Button on the 4-stroke. Tim Ferry, former 125 regional supercross champion.
You would think the way Ward's riding was out with Tim Ferry right now, that was Kevin Windham back there. He has really made it tough. Now until there, Ferry finally got the edge. Too much for Ward to get in there and try to hold him off.
So Tim Ferry continues to improve. And there's John Dowd behind Larry Ward. Another great crowd on hand here at Broome, Tioga.
Look at Ferry, goes right to work on Jimmy Button. Out jumps him over the plateau, has the inside line, moves up another position.
That had to surprise Button, I would assume.
Well, last time he glanced over his shoulder, it wasn't number 20 back there. He has to realize that Ferry's on the move. If he can stay with him, he might move up a little bit.
Check out the stopwatch. Windham already going by. Will we get to double digits before the second place rider? Yes, we did.
This is the fast section on the racetrack, the top of the big downhill, 3rd gear, getting into 4th. On the 500, we used to just glide 6 inches off the ground all the way over the top of that, and then just stand on the brakes, get pounded by those braking bumps.
Tim Ferry in the best position he's been in all year, in 4th place. This would be his best moto. In the battle for 6th, John Dowd now putting some heat on Larry Ward.
The only guy I see in this cluster of riders right here that could challenge Ferry would be number 17, Raynard, who's kind of just shown up from a poor start. But Ferry moved past all these guys, so the chances of him holding on to it look pretty good.
Robbie Raynard coming off his best race of the year, a 4th place finish at Millville. Larry Ward had a good supercross season, but he's had his problems outdoors. We'll see if he can hold on here.
Supercross I was happy with. This year was good, consistent Supercross, won a race. Outdoor I started off terrible. Fought with myself and my bike a lot, and fortunately for myself and my own sanity, the last 3 or 4 races I've turned it around and feel like I'm riding real strong. I have the speed. Binghamton's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Too bad that you get to your favorite racetrack and it's time to be a little bit of a team rider. It's very difficult. It happened to Hannah a couple times. It's happened to me in a couple of Supercross events and helping Machine out. And you want to go out and prove that you can win, and then in the back of your mind you're going, yeah, but I'm in a position I need to move over and let this guy by. It kind of messes with your concentration.
Well, from Ward's point of view, it's kind of a thank you for picking him back up into the factory ranks when he was a privateer. Teamwork, and Robbie Raynard gets around John Dowd. Raynard with that terrific speed, and he's really done well lately in the season. So Kevin Windham way out in front. Frank LaRocco, Greg Albertine, our top 3 with Tim Ferry on the move.
It possesses a passion inspired by the world's fastest Falcon. And a history that could only come from Suzuki. Introducing the incredible GSX 1300R Hayabusa, the largest displacement sport bike Suzuki has ever built. It's proof you don't need wings to fly.
Are you ready? 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 Be a champion! Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with the top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning. There's loads of tracks, customizable bikes, and much, much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
The Jets go upstate to take on the Bills in an ESPN Sunday Night Football brawl.
Heard about the foot there, Charbet. Tough break, pal.
It's Crevette.
Sorbet? Are we having sorbet?
It's Crevette.
There's nothing better to cleanse the palate than sorbet.
My roommate from college was nuts for sorbet, Charbet. He was a Sharpay.
It's pronounced Crevette. Get it?
Nah, I'm sure it's pronounced Sharpay. It's Chinese.
It's the Jets against the Bills on ESPN Sunday Night Football. It all begins with NFL Primetime at 7:30.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved. Welcome back to Broome Tioga Sports Center. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action. Our first 250 moto time is running down, but there's a great battle for second place. Albertine, all of a sudden, after letting LaRocco by, seemingly has decided, hey, I want to get back into it here.
Well, if he gets by him, then he puts himself in a position to get the overall win. Third, well, that usually works out, a tie, and it doesn't usually go to the guy that's third. Second is a much better deal. Look at LaRocco right here. That's ugly. He hit a rut there on the takeoff, and you'll think about that for a couple of corners. Now he doesn't even get a chance to shake that off, and Albertine's all over him.
Look at this. Greg Albertine is starting to put the pressure on as we go back to the battle for sixth. Robbie Raynard and Larry Ward, teammates.
Got a pretty good idea of the starts they got. When you look at the front of Raynard, he's just covered, pulling his roll-offs for better vision, and then Ward comes by all nice and clean.
Raynard having a rather difficult season about mid-season. Has turned that up a notch, and he would love to get that Suzuki into the top 10 before the season's over.
Incredible potential here. Raynard, young, awesome rider. Just needs a little bit more consistency, a little bit more, just something. Just some little shot in the arm there that's going to get him over that hump.
So it's Raynard, Dowd, and then Ward as we go back to Mike LaRocco in second place. LaRocco pulling away just a little bit from Albertine. Maybe it's just that part of the track, though, David. Oh, Albertine stalls it. And so now LaRocco has got some real breathing room.
I was kind of curious. I mean, that was just my guess that Albertine's getting up in there to try to put himself in a better position for the overall. I mean, at this point, with 3 motos to go after this, he can hang on to third here. He's got a big points lead. He doesn't need an extra 2 points. Seen guy Rick Johnson trying to go out in style in Colorado, breaking his front wheel, losing a title. So he's just got to be smart right here.
Like the pit board we saw said, smart and focus.
Yeah, I think Roger probably was the cost of that. The team manager of Suzuki probably a little nervous as to Greg's motivation to get up there and rub elbows with Morocco again. Morocco won't be nice.
Here comes Raynard, and Raynard's taking on Jimmy Button. Button now kind of blocking him out on that corkscrew turn.
Really doing it on purpose. Looking over, making sure his rear wheel just parked right in front of Raynard's front wheel. He's probably trying to do anything. He recognized that Raynard's coming up. He's threatening his position, and Button's going to just do whatever he can to try to hold him off in the remaining time. He doesn't have far to go.
Button with a 3-1 win 2 races ago at Washougal, and a 3-3 after getting a whole shot for a 2nd place overall in the last race. He'd love to get that 3rd podium in a row as we check out our leader. Number 14, Team Honda, Kevin Windham. It's been a perfect race for Kevin.
So that little tiny mistake right there, that's about the only flaw I've seen in Kevin's ride.
He's the winningest rider on the season, but trails Greg Albertine in the points.
The lap riders going by, getting that blue flag. That means get out of the way, the fast guys are coming.
Morocco and Albertine, 2nd and 3rd behind Windham.
Beautiful timing over that plateau. Sticks it right on the downside. I think that was it. Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't reaching up to clear his vision. That was a little salute to the people. It's kind of tough to do. It's just gotten windy. These guys are in the air. They let go of the handlebars. The bike blows around a little bit.
Yeah, you can see the banners really flapping in certain areas. So Kevin Windham, who is, even though he might not win the points championship, maybe it's too early to say that. As Kevin says, the fat lady hasn't sung yet.
He's doing what he has to do is win the moto. And the reason he keeps looking back, he's hoping he doesn't see anybody on the yellow bike, number 8, anywhere near him. It would suit him just fine to come in and learn that something happened to Albertine. He dropped the 10.
Kevin Windham takes the checkered flag, winning the first 250 moto here in upstate New York. It's his 5th moto victory of the year. He'll now be looking for his 4th overall victory.
Stuart, can I see you in my office, please?
That kid is sick. That hinge is squeaky. Very sick.
Stuart, get in here.
Sure thing, Mr. P.
Stuart, I just opened my Ameritrade account.
Let's light this candle. Let's go to Ameritrade.com. It's easier than phone.
Number 14, Kevin Windham, gets the advantage on the points leader. Number 8, Greg Albertine. Windham doing everything he can to gain more points than the South African. Windham to the inside on Larry Ward to take the lead in the first moto. A mechanic without a rider. Jeff Emig terminated from Kawasaki. Larry Ward giving way to his teammate, the points leader, Greg Albertine. Going down to the last event of the year for the 250 championship, every point counts. Team orders are in order. Mike LaRocco in a battle with Greg Albertine. And then the checkers for Kevin Windham. Kevin Windham, Mike LaRocco, Greg Albertine, the top 3, with Tim Ferry, his best moto finish of the season. Jimmy Button, a good placement in 5th. Let's go down to Davey now in the winner's area.
Tim, I got to tell you, that Jeff Stanton boot camp must have been working real well for you.
Yeah, I've been up at Jeff's working really hard, and, you know, it's just the last couple races haven't been so good. Like at Millville, I had a really terrible first moto and let the championship kind of get pretty far away. So now I just go out there and try to win every race and not even think about the championship or try to worry about anything except just riding my best.
Well, for what it's worth, you picked up 5 more points on Albie.
Well, you never know what can happen, and a fat lady ain't singing yet.
Mike LaRocco, the Factory Connection Honda. A hard landing, but he saves it. For second place, back to Davey.
Mike, that start really hurt you.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I thought I was going to get a better start, but the first turn was deep, and I kind of bumped around a little bit, and I didn't make it through clean. But I managed to get through pretty good on the first lap and kind of put myself in the race, but Kevin got away. That's all there was to it.
It was an interesting race for the points leader, who battled it out with Mike LaRocco after letting him through. And then Larry Ward, his teammate, saying, take over. Those points are valuable. Let's go back to Davey.
That was a good ride. You were moving up on LaRocco pretty hard. One time up there in the corner, you looked like you almost made contact.
Well, yeah, you know, I saw him coming really hard, and I actually let him by. You know, at the top there, I think everybody saw I kind of backed off because I don't need to be put on the mat by Mike. You know, he's an aggressive charger, and you know, not that he'll deliberately do it, but, you know, anything can happen, and I'd rather just let him by and ride a safe race instead.
You lost 5 points for the championship. You still got 30. You comfortable with that?
I'm very comfortable with that. You know, next moto, I think I've got the jitters out of me, and next moto I'm going to give it everything I got and give Kevin a real run for his money.
Ricky Carmichael sewed up his 3rd consecutive National 125 title in the first moto. His mom and dad, proud parents. And we'll be right back with Moto 2 in a moment.
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
Car with the red tail lights like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. Got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. See the incredible new 1999s at your dealer now. Welcome back to Binghamton as we get set for our second round of motos. The 125s are at the gate now, starting to prepare their areas. Brock Sellards hoping for a better finish than he did in the first moto, but he's still feeling the effects of that shoulder injury. Nathan Ramsey, Ricky Carmichael has already won the #1 plate in the first moto. Let's take another look, David, at the track map.
Well, here we go into the second set of motos, and what I find interesting is that the track, the rocks really haven't come up. It looks like they've dumped millions of truckloads of potting soil in this place, and it's just beautiful. This is what it looked like this morning. This is our helmet rider, Carter Gurney. These guys have to deal with things all day long. Shadows, hay bales. Right there, it gives our camera the drop test. These guys go through shadows. The track gets rougher. Some rocks pop up. And right there, you couldn't see a hay bale, hit it and crash.
Ricky Carmichael, despite the fact that he's nailed down the #1 plate for the 3rd consecutive year, still has a lot of motivation. He wants to tie Mark Barnett's win record, a career win record of 25 victories. And so he's gunning for this one at the start. Roncada, pretty good start, but then fades back. And Pingree once again. The Ping gets the hole shot, number 60. That's his second in a row.
Looked like Carmichael was going to have a good advantage by letting off a little bit early and taking the inside, but it just didn't work out. His own teammate got around him, and for the second time, Pingree drifted wide, but this time he got the lead coming out.
Ramsey and Carmichael battling for second as some riders back in the pack go flying. And a look, yes, it's Ernesto Fonseca. This is the third time he's been down today.
That was right in the middle of the pack, and I have to think that he got hit by a couple of riders. He was just buried in there. It looks like they got together, and he went down just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Battle for second underway. Pingree and Ricky Carmichael as Nathan Ramsey has taken the lead. So it's Ramsey, Pingree, and RC. And that's Stefan Roncada. What a very commendable first moto there in fourth.
This is where it's tough for Ricky to stay motivated. He's already wrapped up the title. He's probably a little bit distracted. Doesn't seem to distract him right there. He makes an outside pass on Pingree, outbreaks him into the corner. I've been in a position a couple times where you wrap a title in a moto and then you kind of just feel like, well, you know, what's the point? And the rest of the day, and these other guys lift it up a little bit where you lose something.
Good to see Ernesto Fonseca, Yamaha of Troy rider, back up and away. Let's take another look at the crash.
Well, they get together right there. Fonseca falls right in front of two other riders, gets hit in the back. Kind of looks like he got hit in the head there. Fortunate to be able to ride away from that.
Meanwhile, out in front, Nathan Ramsey and Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael, little bump and run there in the corner, cuts to the inside, and it's Ricky Carmichael once again in the lead. He is back to top form. You know, does it surprise you that Ricky Carmichael hasn't got a hole shot all year? I mean, he's been in good position most of the time. But his last hole shot was the first moto right at this track last year.
That does surprise me because he does everything so well. And if he does have a weakness, he goes right to work on it. He goes home and just stews over the fact that he's not able to have enough corner speed or the starts. And he seems to always be able to master it. The starts have really been a problem for him.
Suzuki leaderboard. Ricky Carmichael, of course, right up there, has not pulled away yet from Nathan Ramsey. Roncada now starting to put some pressure on Pingree in third.
It's a good opportunity for Ramsey to just watch his teammate try to anchor himself into a situation more like during the week when he's able to maybe hang with him for a little while, change his focus a little bit, not worry about the pressures of the race, just try to hang with him and learn, pull away from the rest of the pack.
Ramsey with one podium on the year. That was a third place at Unadilla, a fourth place in the first moto. So Ramsey's in good position to get back on that podium.
He's going to have to hustle. Look at this battle. Pingree and Roncada just going at it.
Pingree on the Primal Suzuki, the yellow bike, with Roncada cutting to the inside. Yamaha of Troy gives a little rub there, a little push. And Roncada makes the move into third.
He had so much speed, he's able to pre-jump, make a plateau out of the top of that hill, jumped all the way to the downside, right back on the power, doing it all with short sleeves. These guys keep cutting them shorter and shorter. Doesn't have anything out there.
Another look at Roncada.
Well, Pingree had been pushed all the way up that hill, so he comes down to the corner and he was really forced to go wide. Roncada set him up. Just took about 4 feet of racetrack away. Got right to the inside. Didn't really mean to make contact there, but he had to make the pass. Here he comes again, more contact. He means business, this moto. Makes that pass too.
So he cuts in front of Ramsey. All of a sudden he's in second place. He might be in a mood to test Ricky Carmichael here in the second moto.
Whoa, Ramsey, what a save. That side, I think right now he's going, how'd I do that?
Casey Johnson right in front of him. Pingree got by as well. So Pingree, Johnson, and Ramsey, the order here. And still out in front, Ricky Carmichael with Roncada starting to make a move on him. We'll be right back.
To unlock your body's potential, there is nothing better than Soloflex. All the standard strength training exercises, each one correct in form and balance. The original, still unequaled, Soloflex.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500, an all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours. Buy a selected quad runner and get a super winch for just $49.95 and great financing.
Here's another look at the save by Nathan Ramsey. He starts to get sideways right there. I think he thought he was going to lose it. Then the back end caught something. He's able to ride away. Lost a couple positions, but that could have been a lot worse. Here it is from another angle. This was so good. We got to show you every angle we have.
Bent leg slide there almost.
Yeah, the back wheel just broke the berm away, and then all of a sudden it was just too much dirt. It caught, threw him back high side, and he was able to stay on.
So great control by Nathan Ramsey keeps him in the thick of things here in the battle for fifth.
You always like to have a little bit of time to recover from something like that.
Squeezing to the inside on Pingree is Casey Johnson. And look out, here comes Nathan Ramsey on Ping.
I guess he doesn't need any time to recover. I thought he was going to be still worrying about what happened in this corner 1 lap to go. He's got Talon Bolin on his tail. He goes right after David Pingree and makes the pass.
Johnson, Ramsey, Pingree, and Bolin is right at the rear of Pingree now.
These are fun races to be involved in. You can be in here mixing it up with all these guys. Quite a bit of respect and trust. These guys get bar to bar out there, as you would say, Art, and you have to have that trust. You get some guy in there, you're not really sure what he's going to do. You don't go side by side off a jump with him through the air. These guys all know each other. They know every move.
For those of you turning in late, Ricky Carmichael won the first 125 moto as well as the #1 plate for the season. Oh, banging!
There's a move I think Pingree wasn't ready for, but he stayed up.
Bolin making the pass.
Entering that corner, the big plateau has a jump right after it. Nathan Ramsey is jumping the plateau and the next jump. A lot of air time. He's putting about 2 bike lengths on everybody's feet.
Well, Pingree's having a hard time now. He's sliding backwards. Here comes Smith of FMF Honda. And Danny out of Eagle, Idaho, has his sights set on David Pingree.
That is a tricky section right there. You see Bolin trying to jump up over the top, but as soon as you start down the other side, you start hitting braking bumps, then it turns into an off-camber.
And here's our leader, Ricky Carmichael.
He's pushing it to the limit.
He is, but he's not made the breakaway in the last 2 laps that we saw in the first moto.
No, and
here's the reason right there.
Ron Cotta is all over him. Ron Cotta proved at Troy that he has the speed to beat Carmichael, and he's trying to prove it here again today.
Ramsey getting a little squirrely once again as Talon Bolin looking for opportunity right behind him. And there's McCormick battling with Smith now.
Smith planned that out perfect.
McCormick, not too long ago, got that podium at Washougal and won the second moto on his home track.
He came right in and just dove underneath Danny Smith. Danny Smith knew that he'd already left the door open. Nothing he could do about it. He was able to get him right back. Sometimes when you work real hard, you're in McCormick's position, you get around the guy, and they get you right back. It kind of throws you all out of whack. Messes with your focus, and it's hard to get him back again.
McCormick signing a multi-year deal with Planet Honda, so he'll be back next year. And Ricky Carmichael, what more can you say about Ricky as he goes to try and tie Mark Barnett's career 125 record before going exclusively to 250s. He'll be under the Team Kawasaki banner next year, leaving Mitch Payton. Let's go down to the mechanics area. Davey Combs.
Chad, are you surprised the way Ron Cotta is sticking with Ricky? Nah, Ron Cotta's been on a mission the last few races. He's actually had some of the fastest lap times in practice, and he's riding really well. They're clicking off 219s to 221s, which only a couple of the 250s done 219s.
So even after you guys won a championship, Ricky's picked up the pace in the second moto?
Party ain't over yet. We still got another race.
Typical attitude of Chad Watts. He's just as competitive, I think, as Ricky is.
Yeah, he is. Part of why these guys have so much fire and attack everybody and put aggressive moves on these guys. They don't really have that much like for anybody they have to race against. They just want to annihilate the field and make winning the next week that much easier because of all the intimidation that they establish. Smith
and McCormick still going at it.
McCormick hasn't given up yet. He's all over him. Danny Smith is dealing with the pressure. Seems to be able to cover all the lines. He crossed over in front of McCormick back there before they entered the uphill, and that tends to make the guy that's pursuing back off just a little bit because he doesn't want to have his front wheel taken out.
McCormick with a 7th place finish in the first moto. Tried to improve that position here in the second.
This has been a popular place to pass down the inside, but Danny Smith's got it covered.
Covered it up real well, didn't he?
Actually gets a little bit of breathing room there because McCormick's bobbled slightly, but it seems like McCormick, whenever he's made a slight mistake, he's been able to close that gap again. In the meantime, there's a lot of rocks still out here on this racetrack, even though they got rid of most of them, that he's absorbing with the front of his body and his face. The sooner you can make the pass, the better.
You had a lot of fun at this track. We mentioned a little bit. Whoa, Casey Johnson. Casey Johnson went down. And so Talon Volan becomes the opportunist there.
That was too bad. He just came out of that corner. The front wheel drifted over the berm. All that loose loam cushion gets pushed to the outside. He was riding up kind of high in it. Front wheel just dropped over it, and he lost it.
Ricky Carmichael continues to lead. He has been unable to shake Stefan Roncada in 2nd place. We'll be right back with more 125 action in our second moto of the day right after these words.
Percival Pharmacy. It's a drugstore and much, much more. They offer 1-hour photo processing and custom framing. They have a huge selection of figurines and collectibles, including Boyd's Collection, Precious Moments, Cherished Teddies, Swarovski Crystal, Fitz and Floyd's Charming Tale, and now a Gold Key dealer for Department 56 Villages. Percival Pharmacy makes shopping a breeze with something for everyone. They even have Christmas items year-round. It's more than a drugstore. Percival Pharmacy.
Thomas Jefferson, the father of American wines, grew wine grapes at his home in Monticello more than 200 years ago. Today, Jefferson's vision has come of age. Virginia's wineries now produce fine vintages recognized worldwide. Virginia wines reflect centuries of heritage, cultivation, and good taste. For the best selection of wines, visit the Leesburg Vintner, named Retail Business of the Year by the Loudoun County Chamber of Commerce and awarded the prestigious Virginia Wine Retailer of the Year.
I talk a lot of trash. I don't talk a lot of trash.
This bomb go over 5 rounds, I won't return to the United States for 30 days.
Ali talk trash.
Well, all these big mouth people here in Miami talking about I talk too much and this one's gonna whoop me, so I want all of them to be there.
He invented trash.
Yeah, I wish him a happy new year because he's gonna need happiness after I annihilate him.
But he can back it up, too.
I must be the greatest.
You've got to call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic.
For this week's Suzuki Flashback, we look at the 125 National from Broome Tioga Sports Center in 1987. The 125 class had defending series champion number 1 Mickey Diamond battling with Suzuki-mounted rider number 7 George Holland in the first moto of the day. Number 15 Guy Cooper riding the pack would almost go down and would finish out of the top 3. Diamond held off Holland for the top spot to win the first moto. The second stanza started out with number 12, Rick Ryan, taking the early lead. Ryan, known as the only privateer to ever win Daytona earlier that year. Holland would pass Ryan later and take the lead and the victory in Moto 2. This was Holland's 3rd national win in 1987. Broome, Tioga, Binghamton, New York. And sometimes the great battles aren't for the lead. Right here, Brock Sellers cuts to the inside on McCormick, gives him a little brush and says, hey, I'm taking this spot.
Well, McCormick had spent so much time and energy trying to get around Danny Smith. All of a sudden, Sellers sneaks in there and gets him. So now his, you know, they talk about the wind in your sails. I think his is gone.
Our Suzuki stopwatch, there's only 2.5 seconds between first and second place. Ricky Carmichael and Stefan Roncada, but look at the clock go as we have not seen the 3rd place rider come around the bend yet. There she blows.
That's a substantial lead.
About 25 seconds worth. Talon Volan in 3rd.
And remember, Talon Volan said he was going to pull out all the stops, not hold anything back, go for it. He's ride as hard as he can. He's that far down. That shows you the pace of Roncada and Carmichael. Start helped a little bit, but they've still been able to pad that lead.
And behind Bolin, we zero in on Nathan Ramsey.
That's the corner where he had his wild ride. He has still managed to keep on the pace. Unfortunately, everyone's running about the same pace, and he's not moving up.
Callan Bolin will be a teammate of the guy right behind him next year on the Split Fire Pro Circuit team. Ramsey did a lot of maturing this season. It was kind of a iffy year. It was time for him to progress, and by golly, he stepped up and won the 125 West Supercross title. McCormick still won't let Brock Sellards off the hook.
He is still keeping enough pressure on him that he's got to worry about him a little bit. You can see the wind has picked up. There's only a 20% chance of rain when the day started. So the last time I raced here in 1986, the weather conditions were very similar. The wind picked up, started to get kind of dark. It ended up raining the second moto so hard they cut the moto in half.
Well, it was supposed to rain earlier in the afternoon. Maybe we're going to have some raindrops finally.
You know that there's some special tires mounted up on spare wheels for that 250 moto coming up, just in case.
Yeah, it's not as easy as in road racing where you just pop one of those off either, though.
No, these guys are prepared. You got a little bit of time between motos and during the week. They have barometers and all kinds of gauges in the trucks. Tapped into the weather center. They usually stay ahead of the weather channel in the local area because you know they're always wrong anyway.
So while Ricky Carmichael tries to hold off Stefan Roncada, it's Bolin, Ramsey, and Smith, along with Sellards and McCormick, giving us the show here in the second 125 moto. Matt Walker moving up to 14.
Sellards right here is actually starting to pick up the pace. So that injury, sometimes you get late in the day, you get good and warm, you start forgetting about the pain, and just the next guy you want to pass, you get on a roll.
Boy, what a leap by Ricky Carmichael.
It's a little shower from Fonseca, who's gone down actually off this jump they're approaching right here in the first lap. Beautiful. The way Carmichael, he hits that berm early, squares across, and gets into the next one, misses all those rocks. The problem the guys are having is they try to make their corner on the off camber. Carmichael hits that berm early, cuts across.
Uh-oh, Casey Johnson again. His second fall of the race. He's trying to pick it up and get up into that top 5.
That's too bad. Kind of a weird place to go down, too. At the bottom of the big downhill, thinking right-hand sweeper, starting back up. He doesn't even have any time to recuperate. He's already got Chris Gosler breathing down his neck.
Gosler, a fast youngster whose dad is Ezra Luss mechanic on Team Honda. This is his first actual full year in the pro ranks, and he's gunning for a top 10 spot here, his best moto finish of the year.
Sellards still trying to close that gap to Danny Smith. And you can't convince me he's riding with an injury the way he looks right now. He seems like he's going full speed.
Well, believe me, he went flat at the Frozen Ocean on that fun race supposedly during the week off. As we reported on our Moto World on ESPN2, Ricky Carmichael, Roncada Bolin in the top 3. Ramsey, Smith, Sellards, McCormick doing a good job. We'll be right back.
Would you look at this? The Suzuki is off to a great start, an unbelievable start. And all of Daytona is on their feet as the GSXR screams in the tri-oval. The Suzukis are dicing for the lead on the inside of turn 11. I've never seen such a battle. He wants a piece of it. He's got it. Oh, did you see that? Outstanding. With this kind of intimidation, the rest of the field might as well head home. The TL1000R is slicing through the exit. Oh, my. Suzuki's V-twin is developing incredible horsepower, and the thunder's up the hill.
Are you ready? Ready? Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with the top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning.
There's loads of track, customizable bikes, and much, much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. Sports Center. I never miss it. In my opinion, it's the best thing going. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
A very underrated defense. Daryl Gardner forces an incompletion, knocks Bledsoe to the ground.
Face it, America. Situation comedy, it's a dead genre.
Not gonna like this either. 25 yards.
Ricky Carmichael, our leader here in the second moto. What's new, right? This is the last lap, the white flag lap. Roncada still not that far behind, but Ricky has really stepped it up.
You can tell by his pace right here in the final lap. He stepped it up, put it away to the point where he can afford to cruise a little bit right now, miss all the bumps. He just seems to have an answer for what everybody comes at him with. Now he's just wheeling around the track. Sure makes it look easy.
Look at that. 16th moto win coming up for Ricky Carmichael. What's that, in 22 motos? 16 out of 22. Danny Smith went for a ride in the forest.
That reminds me of the same place Jeff Stanton went off the racetrack in his last ride here.
You never lost a moto in the 500s here.
No, but that was only 4 motos. But I like the way you put it. This sounds way better.
That's 4 for 4, partner.
Yeah, I only raced here 3 times. My first ride was on a 250, and I was dicing with Hannah, and he spit a rock back at me and broke my finger. And I didn't do so well that day, a couple of fourths or something. But I came back in 84 and then again in 86 on the 500. Had great battles with Ward and Brock Glover. Well, I can relate to the way Carmichael's feeling.
And for Ricky, this will be win number 24 on the career. He'll go next to Delmont, where he has never won.
He's won just about everywhere, hasn't he?
That's the only track he hasn't won on. Delmont.
I'm sure he knows about that. He's got to get that win to make that record perfect and to tie Barnett.
The checkers waving as Carmichael goes for a victory ride up the hill. Ricky Carmichael puts the capper on the afternoon. He's 1 for 1 once again. Stefan Roncada strutting his stuff, taking second place. Boland third in the moto. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Well, Ricky got the title in the first moto, but no backing off at all.
No, I'll tell you what, that was a fun moto. Stefan was riding good, and we were clocking off some good lap times, I think 2:19s, and I'll tell you what, that was a fun race. I'm glad that I got the championship out of the way that first moto. I was waiting for that, but you know, I'm happy. It was a good moto, and I was up there on the start again, so happy about that. It's a concrete pad, and I spun a little bit, but it was fun to get out there and battle.
You got 24 career national wins now. 1 more will tie with Mark Barnett's all-time record, and it'll probably be your last 125 national. Does that mean a lot to you?
I'll tell you what, I've had a great 125 career, and it's a bummer that I couldn't break Barnett's record, but he called me last week and said he would have been bummed if I would have beat it, but he'd be happy to see me right next to him. So I'm happy.
3 titles. Congratulations, Rick. For my dollar, the best 125 rider ever lived.
Thanks a lot, Davey. I tell you what, it feels great. I couldn't do it without the support of Kawasaki. I tell you what, they've been helping me a lot with that poor 250 season that I had, and you know, Pro Circuit, Fox, THQ, Oakley, Bell Helmets, Troy Designs, Alpine Star Boots. My mechanic, Chad Watts, he did a great job on this thing, and you know, my parents for getting me here, and I'd like to thank Johnny O'Mara for helping me out the whole series. That's always, you know, he's always there with me, and just for all the fans coming out, supporting me through my 125 career, just hope you stick with me if I don't do so good in the 250.
One of the great riders of all time in the 125 ranks has taken his 6th sweep right here today. Talon Bolin and Roncada also on the podium. As we go back down to Davey now, let's hear from Talon.
Talon, what happened to you on the start that time?
Well, I came out of the gate, you know, really great, and I was right next to Stefan Roncada, who I knew would be fast, and Ricky. And I felt I had a handlebar on it, but I missed the 4th gear, and I was really struggling. When you're going down the start like that, you can't hear your engine because everybody else is there too, so you're not sure if you caught it or not. By the time I realized I hadn't caught it, those guys had got by me, so then I had to settle back, made some aggressive moves, got right up front again, but then in a corner, when you're right aggressive like that, sometimes things happen for the better and sometimes for the worse. And I ran into another rider and went off the track, and then I was back where I started again, so then I settled in, calmed down, and just worked my way up to my best position. These guys, you know, when they got to get off the start, you got to get off with them or they're gone. So I feel that I'm very happy and I'm back where I was, you know, go to the next race and maybe I'll get the hole shot. I haven't got one hole shot this year, so I got to get one.
Well, you got one more race to also catch Brock Sellers in that battle for the runner-up spot in the 125 championships. It's going to come down to Steel City.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really not thinking about that. I mean, I was only thinking about winning once the title was gone. I don't care if I'm 10th or 2nd. I mean, obviously, I always try my best out there, and I want to win races. That's the most important thing.
By the way, next week, you got Carmichael and Coyote.
Yeah, you know, I'm fired up for that. There's no way I'm going to let that guy beat me. And I want to beat Ricky, too, so we'll see what happens.
That could be an interesting showdown with Coyote there in Delmont. Ricky Carmichael, now 118-point lead. Ramsey moves into the top 5 with Brandis not racing today because of the injury. It was a Ricky Carmichael year, just as it's been for 3 straight seasons. Winning the opener with a 1-1 sweep at Glen Helen. After 4 consecutive victories, the rain, the mud, and the crashes at Budds Creek, a 6th place. Then 3 more wins, including Troy, Ohio. Then he overcame a rash of bad starts and crashes to win once again the #1 place. Ricky Carmichael, a great champion. The 250s are coming up next. Can Kevin Windham make a sweep of his own? We'll be back.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, to see if they could get out. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Now, right off with our best financing, 8.9%.
Are you ready? Ready? Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with a top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning. There's loads of tracks, customizable bikes, and much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Orlando Canizales battles Frankie Tolino in a 10-round featherweight bout. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Getting ready for the second 250 moto now after Ricky Carmichael reestablishing his domination and taking the 125 crown. Kevin Windham behind the points leader Greg Albertine, as well as Mike Morocco. Morocco's a real long shot, but he's still mathematically in it. Robbie Rayner's number 17 as we move over to his teammate Greg Albertine.
It looks like Windham has chosen the same place to start as he did the first moto. The second gate over from the far inside. LaRocco went all the way to the inside. He had the next pick over Albertine after he beat him in that first moto.
Boy, the wind is really picking up. Look at the flags above the porch there.
That wind is really going to affect these guys. The sign is sideways, and I think they're going to try to beat the rain.
We're off and running the 250s. Doug Henry gets that hole shot. Good move by him. Oh, but as we're lost, Damon Huffman gets tied up on the inside.
One of the few times where there's a pileup from all the guys on the inside. It would have been better off to go around the outside. Watch what happens. Windham hits the stack of tires, And then the guy in the yellow, 32, DeMuth, goes down, almost collects Albertine. That could have been his bad moto right there.
Then the chain reaction comes back the other way.
Then nowhere to go. Lust, Huffman stuck.
Ward in second. And Kevin Windham in good position in third with Doug Henry out there. Kevin Windham looking for the sweep. Said all I have to do here is just concentrate on myself, my own performance. That's exactly what Kevin Windham is doing.
Right now, he's just trying to stay out of the roots. Each little straightaway we've seen him, he's taken a completely different line. A four-stroke of Henry and Larry Ward, and the wind is just blowing things all over the place. Every time these guys go up in the air right here, it'll affect the way the motorcycle handles. They're coming into another one where they get a lot of air time. That wind blows the bike around.
Larry Ward, after a hole shot in the first moto, finished up with an 8th position. Doug Henry slipping and sliding on that off-camber right there. And here comes Ward to the outside. Look out, Kevin Windham almost got picked off.
That was weird. Kevin's hand came off the handlebar. And you see him right there. He had to bend that handguard back up. He already almost took the other one off in the first corner. I've never seen anything quite like that. His hand completely came off the bar in the ruts, and it pushed that thing down.
Albertine in 7th spot, David Bailey. He's got some moving to do.
There he goes. That could have been a whole lot worse. As you saw DeMuth going down, and Albertine got by just in the nick of time. See how crowded it is in that mechanics area, trying to get a signal to your rider.
See John Dowd back in 35th. He must have gotten wrapped up in that corkscrew turn mess earlier.
This is where that four-stroke will hook up, going up the big hill, turns into off-camber. Look at Kevin.
Oh, great inside move.
Doesn't quite make the pass on Ward, but he lets him know he's there.
And cutting to the inside, looks back and makes the pass into second place. So Windham, who only had really Ward to pass in the first moto, now has to take on Doug Henry after getting by Ward here in the second.
That was such a smooth pass on Ward. He's able to just cut inside, go anywhere he wants, get the bike set up perfect.
We'll be right back to catch up on Kevin Windham. Can he take over first place and get around Doug Henry?
I got a new car with a red tail light. It's like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rack top and a contour hood. She goes up, yes, she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
What sets some people apart, gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer.
Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
Are you ready? Ready? Hardcore racing excitement comes to the PlayStation game console with Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with the top superstar in motocross today. Take to the air with killer stunts. Crash like pain has no meaning. There's loads of tracks, customizable bikes, and much, much more. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real, you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation.
Moto 2, the 250s from Binghamton. And what a battle it is now for the lead. Doug Henry with Kevin Windham just hounding him. Number 14 on Team Honda. Taking on the Team Yamaha four-stroke of Doug Henry. And right behind Windham is still Larry Ward of Team Suzuki.
Part of the challenge for Kevin right now is to stay out of the roost of that four-stroke, the any bike really, but for the four-stroke it's a little bit worse. You can see he is really paying close attention to trying to stay just a few feet to one side or the other.
Up the hill we go. Wyndham on the throttle, cuts to the inside. Henry veers away, and we've got a new leader now.
That was smooth. I mean, it just seems like Kevin can do anything he wants out here on this racetrack. Right along the inside, almost inside of the tree. Most guys are having a tough time just getting that corner smooth every time. Kevin's going, yeah, I think I'll take this line. And it just sticks. He's already opened up a few bike lanes. So this track just belongs to Kevin today.
You can see right there, he's opened up about a 6 or 7 bike length lead on Doug Henry.
Look at him square that corner. Henry this time follows him. He could feel that the lap before.
Oh, Jimmy Button moving into third. He's looking for his third podium in a row. Comes wide around the corner. That's Henry. Oh, what's that about that cameraman? Mike LaRocco, after a second in the first moto, which was his best finish since his win at Unadilla, is really coming through the pack. Right in front of Larry Ward there. Good battle. Look there. Greg Albertine is behind his teammate Larry Ward. Albertine, number 8, cuts to the inside. He's on the move. Very aggressive.
Didn't even really look like that time Ward made it easy for him. He just jammed down to the inside before Ward had an opportunity to give him room.
And look at that, cutting to the inside of LaRocco. Greg Albertine moving into 4th. He doesn't want to lose too many points to Wyndham.
And LaRocco gets him right back. Albertine stays, looks like he stayed a little bit lower. LaRocco cuts in front of him. Now here these guys go again. Albie didn't want any part of that in the first moto, but they're too far back now with Wyndham out in front. He's going to have to take it to him.
Well, if he loses too many points, almost anything can happen in the final round, and his championship might go right out the window. But right now, it looks like it's a bar-to-bar affair with Mike LaRocco.
Well, Mike could have put him wide in that corner. He did. He took his own line. So it's good to see these guys racing clean. I think the bad start for Albertine just got him fired up. Put a little bit of panic in him. He said he wanted to take it to Wyndham in this moto, and could have gotten a better start. He might have approached it a little more relaxed. Here, he's on fire. Riding extremely aggressive.
Well, David, that's how he got here. And also on the run from Team Suzuki is Robbie Raynard. Raynard now challenging Larry Ward, number 17 on the yellow Suzuki. He cuts to the inside on Ward, says goodbye.
A great place to pass. This guy's caught sort of struggling with that corner. It's weird, it's a bank corner, but everyone has a tough time hooking up through there. It seems like it'd be the opposite. Cars right around the inside, the same way Kevin Wyndham did and Doug Henry.
So Raynard now is right behind the points leader from Team Suzuki. Greg Albertine, Wyndham, Henry, Button, LaRocco, and Albertine are top 5.
I wonder if this time Raynard is going to realize that Albie is in a position to try to get this title, and maybe this time he won't pass him.
Here's Albertine making the move.
Just right across the inside. There weren't even any tire marks through there yet. Albie finds the line, gets around, but LaRocco somehow comes right back.
They touched up top there a little bit. Oh, this is a great confrontation, even though it's not for the lead.
And right here is where if LaRocco wanted to ride a little bit dirty, he could have gone wide and taken the line away. He didn't. He rode his own line.
Our Suzuki trivia question: when was the last time a Suzuki won at Binghamton? We'll have the answer and a lot more action when we return.
12 deaths over 15 years.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
8 of them children.
The truth. I thought we were talking about a court of law.
For the first time on television,
somebody had to have seen what happened.
Pay-per-view delivers one of the best legal films in years.
So the only thing you'll accept is what they're not willing to give us.
John Travolta.
We let them get away with murder.
A civil action.
All right.
A compelling drama, easy to order on pay-per-view.
What time is it?
I'd say it's time for some bristles and shears.
I'm not cutting my own hair.
No, silly. You need to go to Bristles and Shears Hair Design. That's where I go.
You know I need to look professional.
Relax. Their experienced staff is trained to listen first, then cut. You get your hair styled the way you want it, all done in a modern, comfortable atmosphere. They even have an esthetician.
A what?
A facial and skincare professional.
I knew that. Well, where is Bristles and Shears?
Next to Belfort Furniture and World Gym in Sterling.
Honey, where are my car keys?
Tonight on ESPN, Sports Center, followed by NFL Primetime, and Sunday Night Football as the Jets battle the Bills. On ESPN2, horse racing, RPM Tonight, Fed Cup tennis, and continuous scores in the latest news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic, a pair of click and picks and a look back at Wimbledon. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Welcome back to some outstanding racing here at Broome, Tioga. Kevin Windham is our leader. Jimmy Button now starting to make a move on his four-stroke teammate, Doug Henry, in the battle for second place. Mike LaRocco is behind the two four-strokes.
Doug Henry jumping that downhill double, still making the inside burn. We've seen riders in the past trying to jump that double. In fact, Doug was one of them, but not make the corner.
Boland brothers looking on after their participation in the 125s. Allie Seymour, number 14's mechanic. There you see how loamy the roost is in that area anyway. These guys are fearless flying down this hill. LaRocco to the inside, tries to cut in, loses control. He rubbed Albertine, but it looked like he just lost control. Had to save himself.
Here's another look at Henry. He's the only guy out there right now jumping that downhill double, saving a little bit of time. And Albie, I don't know how he stayed up. He just leaned into that. I don't know what the intentions were of LaRocco. I know he was trying to make the pass. I think he just got in there and kind of expected Albie to move out of the way slightly, but he didn't.
Earlier, we asked the contenders, who's going to take this championship?
There's a few races left. I mean, Albertine has the best shot because he's put himself in the biggest lead, but he's been known to be inconsistent at times, although this year he's been consistent. I mean, I don't know. If he wins it, I'd say it's because he's put himself in a position where he can relax a little bit the last two races. And, you know, if I win it, I mean, I'm going to have to go out and win the next 4 motos and hope for something else to happen.
I feel very comfortable. You know, I'm not the one who has the pressure out there. I haven't worked it out exactly, but if Kevin has to win every race, you know, and I'm really just feeling comfortable and feeling fast and going to go out there and get some good starts.
He's got a commanding lead with, you know, 4 motos left to go, so you hate to think of it as over, and it's definitely not over. I just, you know, maybe could cross my fingers for a chain break or some kind of voodoo curse on him or something. I don't know, but he's got a big lead.
Being from Louisiana, he might know about that voodoo stuff. You never know. And here's Robbie Raynard giving his teammate the points leader of the series a real battle for 4th place. Does this surprise you, David?
A little bit.
Raynard to the inside. Oh, Roger DeCoster's heart's got to be pumping out of his chest right about now.
Especially the way he just cut in front of him in that berm. He just about got Albie's front wheel. Look at Albie. He's kind of like, what are you doing?
Our Suzuki trivia question, when was the last time that Suzuki won at Binghamton? George Holland, you saw it on our flashback. They've never won a 250 race here. But Robbie Raynard acts like he wants to win.
Yeah,
I wonder if they did have orders out, and Robbie ignored them or didn't see them as he moves into 4th place.
They can't have had orders at this point. They're just hoping that Robbie will use his head. But I think that
usually orders just coming in the last race.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see something on the pit board here before the race is over with, because Albie's back there pretty far.
4 laps. That's the instruction to the leader, Kevin Windham. Allie Seymour reaching out. Tony Berluti is trying to give a pit board. Slow for Albie, it says. So he's trying to give him orders. And the 2 4-strokes still going at it. Jimmy Button with a chance at that podium. Just a little black pass at the top.
See what I mean also about that corner where Henry got sideways. I've never figured that out. It's a bank turn, and for some reason, guys always get sideways through there. So slippery. Watch Rayner, though. Cuts that corner perfect, the same way Wyndham did earlier. Makes the pass on his teammate right before he gets the signal that don't make any passes. Watch him, he almost hits his front wheels. He gets into the berm right there.
Well, at this point in time, just a matter of a few points could be the difference. So a lot of dollars changing hands.
See the look on Tony Berlutti's face, too. It pretty much tells the story. You don't like to have to give those signals, and you especially don't like to have to give them over and over because your rider's not paying attention.
But what's the most important thing in a series? It's the championship, and it's a great marketable item this day and age.
Leonard is just on such a roll, riding so well and moving up.
And
I don't think he's looking at the pit board, huh?
No, that might be it. Roger DeCosta, the team manager, Tony Berluti, his mechanic.
Flashing lights on that thing.
Wyndham, Button, Henry, Raynard, Albertine, our top five. Larocco in 6th place. John Dowd, winner in 94 in 10th.
I've been racing since I was 3. I'm a pilot. I like to fly a little bit.
No matter what, we want a Honda up front.
I just feel like I'm on the right team and on the right place.
Je m'appelle Sébastien Tortelli. Je cours pour le team Honda.
I guess you could say I was just a little bit hairier than the other kids. They said I was hairy like a bear, and then it was Yogi Bear, and now it's just Yogi.
Try not to think about who's behind you. You know, you try to always race in front of you.
You feel like you can be free.
Hey, my name is Rick, but everyone calls me The Rick. Yeah, so I'm on ESPN.com. Now, sure a lot of you are wondering what .com stands for. Well, Dot is short for Dorothy, the Bambino's second daughter. And Com, short for Comiskey Park, where Dorothy sat in seat 7H, and the Bambino hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning to win the first All-Star game back in '33. Hence .com.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda race team. Honda, ride red. And by Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real you'll be picking your teeth out of the dirt for the PlayStation game console. Now available wherever video games are sold.
Getting near the end of our 11th round of action on the AMA Motocross Series. The mechanics right now anxious as Wyndham goes through. He's our leader. Here's another board for Robbie Rayner.
You can see the nervousness as the Honda guys telling Wyndham go. That's because Jimmy Button, you see him right there, has really picked up the pace. They know Button has what it takes to make a pass. This is really tightened up.
Button in 2nd, Henry in 3rd, goes down. You mentioned about the slickness of this track in certain areas. Well, Doug found out.
That's one of the slickest corners on the track, besides that other one I kept talking about.
He slipped down, and right behind him is Greg Albertine. Oh, looking on Tom Hurd, the owner of this track, and boy, has he done a job or what?
I think this track is the best condition I've ever seen it in terms of how nice the soil is and how much they've trimmed up the trees so spectators have a great view of the track all through the hills. The layout has changed slightly just to try to open up some passing lanes and get people closer to the riders as they come by. Button getting way out of control back there. He left marks in the ground from his speed. He's going all out to try to make a pad to steal this victory in the last half a lap.
Kevin Wyndham looking for another overall victory and his 2nd sweep of the year. But he's getting all kinds of pressure from the 4-strokes. Can he hold them off? Kevin has run a beautiful race to this point.
that four-stroke back there, wide open. Kevin's just too clever. He's not going to make a big mistake. He rides the perfect line. There's no way he's going to give any room to Button, even if there were 2 more laps. It wouldn't be easy, but I don't think Kevin is going to leave an opening.
Cutting through the lap riders now. There's Button right on his tail. The checkers, and Kevin Windham has done it. He's got the sweep, and he did all he could do to pick up on the points leader, Greg Albertine. Button in second, Raynard third, Henry in fourth, and Greg Albertine in fifth loses more points to Kevin Windham.
That had to have been a great moment to be a part of. You had Henry up there, Button, the whole crew.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race. It got pretty hectic there with like 3 laps to go. I got in the lappers pretty heavy, and you know, I was nervous. You can hear that thumper behind you, no matter if it's 2 corners or 5 corners or whatever. You can still hear it behind you. So I definitely felt the pressure coming on from behind, and tried to you know, thread the needle down through the lappers, and it worked out for the best.
For what it's worth, you got Albertine's point lead down to within a moto now. I'm not sure, but it might even be 21 points. Got to be a little happy about that. Still a long ways to go, but at least you're in the game.
Yeah, it's definitely a long ways to go. 21 points with 2 motos, but anything can happen. I just need to put my head down and work. And you know, it's been a successful season for me, regardless of how it works out. You know, of course, I'd like the championship, but I just need to go out there and have as much fun as I can.
Kevin Windham, the overall, his 4th of the year. He is the winningest rider on the tour, with Button Morocco also on the podium. Albertine in 4th. Let's go back now down to Davey Coombs.
Jim, that had to have been a fun moto to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. It was a rocky one, though, behind that 4-stroke. I know what everyone else feels like, but Doug rode a hell of a race. He, you know, I tried and I couldn't do it, and he would just keep on holding on, and he got out of control a little bit, but he's a strong, tough champion, and it was a good race out there racing against him, my teammate, and just a fun time out there. I wish I would have got around a little bit sooner. I think I could have gotten Kevin, but take second, got on the podium, so that's good.
Button's 3rd podium in a row, as Albertine's lead is indeed only 21 points over Kevin Windham, with 1 more round remaining. Robbie Raynard, he moves into the top 10.
Robbie, that was a great charge at the end of the second moto. He moved up to 3rd, but I got to ask you, was there any thought about Albertine at all?
Yeah, there was, but, you know, I feel strong, and I was just riding my own race, and, you know, Albie's been riding really well, and I had the chance to beat him, and I want to beat him. I want to win, you know, so I'm going out there doing everything I can. I feel really good this weekend, and I've been feeling a lot better as the season's gone on, so hopefully I can win next weekend.
Let me ask you this, though. Comes down to Steel City. Albertine needs your spot. You going to move over for him?
I don't know. You know, Suzuki really needs a championship, but I'm going to do everything I can to help him out.
Over the last 2 years, the 250 title has been decided and awarded right here. Doug Henry last year and Emig the year before. But this season, 1999, Greg Albertine's going to have to wait for the plate that Ricky Carmichael picked up today in the 125. Art Eckman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs, thanking you for being with us. This has been a production of ESPN, the worldwide.
It's up just yet. He works so hard to get it, and if you talk to him, he sounds very confident about repeating.
He's got a lot of competition, though. Sebastian Tortelli, for instance, was leading in points last year when he went down with an injury at Unadilla.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Sebastian can stay healthy through the whole season, he's going to present a major challenge for Albie. Those guys are going to fight it out, and they both feel like they can win the title.
And then, newcomers to the division, David Villemin from France and Ricky Carmichael from the 125 ranks.
Well, Ricky has shown us speed on the 125, and he sounds pretty confident about doing it on the 250 as well. I mean, we can look at Daytona and see the results of that. Villemin, however, well, it's going to be different for him. He hasn't seen these racetracks, and he's just going to have to feel his way out.
David, we also have the return of Ezra Lusk, who had an unfortunate Supercross injury.
Well, unlike Albertine, who was able to race a little bit this year before he was injured, Lusk really doesn't know where he fits into the competition. So this first round is going to be just kind of feel things out and try to race his way back into shape.
Our Davey Coombs is in the pit area, and he's with the defending champion, Greg Albertine. Davey?
When Greg Albertine came to America in 1995, he walked away from 3 world championships to realize his dream of earning a #1 plate in America. Today marks Greg's first day with that number plate. Unfortunately, also marks his first day back from a very serious injury. Greg, how's the leg?
It feels really good. You know, I was riding it just after 7 weeks. I've had just over 3 weeks on the bike, and I'm feeling fit, strong, and Lord really healed me quickly.
I know that it took a lot of time in America, 4 years to be exact, to get that #1 plate, but how great does it feel to finally wear it?
It feels really good. So many people stuck by me and supported me, and Suzuki being one of them. So I feel very proud to go out there today with the #1 plate.
There you have it. 3-time world champion and 1-time U.S. national champion Greg Albertine begins defense of his #1 plate today.
Thanks, Davey. Turning to the 125s, this year in Supercross, we saw more winners in one season than ever before, 9 to be exact, and I don't see any reason why it should stop there as we go into motocross.
Well, it's going to be good, that's for sure. And if you compare it to the 250 class, you've got defending champion Albertine and Ricky Carmichael and Tortelli. These guys are all pretty sure they're going to win the title at the end of the season. And in the 125 class, I don't think the attitude's the same. If there's one guy that's confident, it's got to be Talon Bolin, because he was the closest guy to Carmichael, and RC's moved up.
A couple of guys that have been around the 125 scene for a while. They're hungry for a championship. Brock Sellards and Stefan Roncada.
Well, Roncada is confident. He's got that 125 Supercross title. He's just going to carry that momentum outdoors. Sellards, he's a strong pit bull. He's got that Larocco style, and he's been looking forward to the outdoors.
New kid on the block, Travis Pastrana.